Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna do a tag, and I follow these two people, but I haven't seen them do this tag. I just missed that video completely. But then today, another one of my favorite YouTubers, Andrea Matiliano, she did the tag, and I decided that I wanted to film it. I think this is right up my alley. So the YouTubers that created this tag, they're two of my favorite that I watch a ton, Morgan Turner and Patty Alonso. I even mentioned Patty Alonso in my Pan That Face Palette video. I love her channel so much. And today I'm gonna be doing the perfect makeup tag. So if you wanna see that, then just keep on watching. The first question is, which primer creates the perfect makeup base? And for me, I have to say I've gone through a few primers that I've loved throughout the years, like the Professional. Then I love one from Color Beats, which is a Colombian brand. I also have loved the Pores No More by Dr. Brad, but the one that I've been using that's a primer the most is the Laura Mercier Pure Canvas Blurring Primer. And the reason why is that the Pores No More became a little bit too drying on me, even though I'm combination too oily. The Professional wouldn't keep my oils at bay, even though it just fulfills the purpose of making my pores disappear. And then this one is basically like the Professional without making me oilier. The makeup base that I've been using for the past, I think since October, has been the Unseen Sunscreen by Supergoop. Every time I use that, and I'm not going to any event, I'm not gonna get any pictures taken during daytime or whatnot, I will use the Unseen Sunscreen as my pore filling primer and as my perfect makeup base. But if not, as a primer, the Laura Mercier Blurring Primer I love. The second question is, which foundation has the perfect finish? I haven't been using foundation per se that often, but the foundations that I'm gonna show you are beautiful. For me, my skin, like I said, is combination to oily. The most perfect foundation that I found, the finish of the foundation that I found that lasts the longest, that will hold my oils, but then it will let them peek through enough for my complexion to look a full coverage, but more on the natural side, since it's a little bit of a natural finish after my oils peek through, is the Estee Lauder Double Wear. If you have dry skin, you will hate this. This is just not gonna be for you unless you prep extremely well and you don't use a lot of these. Since I'm already over 30 years old, I always take care of my skin, and I hydrate it a ton. I don't use the Estee Lauder Double Wear all that often because I don't have any in my personal collection. I have it on my makeup artistry kit. And the other one that I wanted to show you, if you're looking for an alternative that I have, is the L'Oreal True Match. But if I had to say, for my taste right now, the foundation that has the perfect finish for me is a mix of these two. I don't know if this one on its own would be the perfect finish, but this is a little bit too dark for me, but I love it. I was using the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer, the regular version, for a long time. I was using it every single day. I love the sheer coverage that it has. I truly don't need a lot of coverage. And then they came up with the oil-free version. And what I love to do, since this is a little bit too dark on me, and you can see I've had these for, I think, not even 2 months. And you can see that it's going down, and I mix it. So the other product that I use with it is the Purito Cica Clearing BB Cream. And these are amazing together. I mix a little bit of them both because this has a yellow tone. So I put half and half, and I don't use that much on my face, and I spread it, and they will last beautifully throughout the day. The Purito one is a long-lasting product, in my opinion, for a BB cream, but then it would get a little bit more oily. But since I'm mixing it with the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer oil-free, oh my goodness, perfect combo. This has been my combo since I got this. When I get my perfect shade on this one, I will tell you if this is the culprit, because I know that this one on its own is not as beautiful as mixed together with this one. And for reference, the shades that I do use are 23 Natural Beige in the Cica one and 3W1 Bisque in the Laura Mercier one. Which concealer has the perfect coverage? So for me, you will see on my empties that I finished one of my Laura Mercier concealers, the one that they sent me, because I had one that my grandma gave to me, and that one I haven't started using. And then I also always talk about the Too Faced concealer. So I love those. I truly do. I love the Too Faced one. I think it's a great value for your money, and it's one that I'm currently using on my makeup artistry kit. But my favorite concealer of all time, and the one that for me has the perfect coverage, the Laura Mercier one, it's perfect for me right now. I don't know, my dark circles are disappearing, so it has enough coverage for it to be an everyday concealer. But the perfect concealer for me is still the NARS Radiant Creamy. This is not too drying. It has enough coverage. You can build it up to be super full coverage, or you can shear it out to be a medium, light medium coverage. The consistency is beautiful. The way it blends is beautiful. If you think that the tube doesn't last as long, then remember to remove the stopper. You will get like 1 month more of usage if you are heavy-handed with concealer. I used to be, now I'm not. I only do 1 or 2 dots, and that would be it, and then a few other dots on my face to highlight. But I adore this. I would use the shade Custard. I don't have it right now in my personal collection, but I adore it. I'm hoping to finish other concealers to buy that one for me. Which powder gives the perfect blur? And for me, this was an easy one. I love the Huda Beauty powder. I have it on my kit. I love the Peach Perfect powder, but that one would switch the color of my makeup a little bit. But the powder that never fails me and that blurs my skin and keeps it more matte throughout the day is the Laura Mercier translucent powder. You guys know that I bet that this is the reason why Laura Mercier found my channel and liked it, because I've been buying this powder for years. This was I think my second translucent powder, because the first one that I purchased was the light reflecting one by NARS, and I didn't like it because it would give me flashback. So I purchased the Laura Mercier one. So that's about 8 years ago, and I still love it. I carry on my kit the 3 shades, the translucent, honey, and the dark, medium dark shade. This is just flawless, and I have even used it on drier skin. I just use less products so that they don't look as dry, but this is one for making your makeup long lasting, to blur your face, to blur your pores, to make everything perfected. And then I had to mention this one because it's a different powder. This is a setting powder, and then this is a finishing powder. The Hourglass Radiant Light, it's for me the best blurring powder that there is, but I use it only after I finish my makeup because it gives me a little bit of radiance. It doesn't make me oily, or more oily than I already get on my nose, and it will make my cheeks look super blur, super beautiful, as if I had a filter. It doesn't enhance texture. Which bronzer has the perfect undertone? The one that I thought about right away, it was this one. I don't have it as a single anymore, but it's the Hoola bronzer, and the perfect undertone, it's this one, the regular Hoola. I love caramel when I want a warmer tone bronzer, but Hoola Original has a neutral tone that I love a lot. I use it a lot on my kit. I used to use it because I don't have it anymore as a single. I would carry it everywhere. I had a small size, and then since I got the palette, I had a bigger size, and I sold it to one of my clients because it was brand new, and I regret it because I just missed that bronzer as a single a lot. And then this one, it always reminds me of Hoola, and I use it a ton, but I can never find it on the Sephora website. I think it's sold out at the Laura Mercier website, but you can see this one has a dip, and it's the one that I'm carrying on my kit. And what I carry on my kit, it's tried and true favorite for not only my skin type, but almost everyone's skin type. So this one won't work for darker skin tone clients. This is the matte bronzing powder in the shade Soleil 1. I don't know if they have Soleil 2, I don't think so. But you can see this had a Laura Mercier engraving in there. And you can see the dip right there. This is just phenomenal. This would be my everyday bronzer, so I would highly recommend you checking it out. If I can find it, I will link it below. If not, I will just link the rest of the products. But if you have this and you haven't pulled it out. I adore this undertone. Which blush has the perfect shade? For me, sadly, NARS discontinued Madly. I wrote to them and they said that it was gonna come back, but it hasn't been back yet. But that's the perfect tone of blush for me, the perfect color. But I just think that this is just phenomenal as well, and it doesn't transfer or it doesn't swatch as beautifully, but this is Illamasqua's Naked Rose. I love this. I think this will make your cheeks look naked, and it will give a hint of pink, but it will stay more on the nude side. And another one that I adore that I don't know where I put it. Maybe it's on my makeup artistry kit. I don't know what happened with it. It's Chai by Laura Mercier, or if you want another option, then Wild Honey by Becca, but I think that's sold out everywhere. Wild Honey by Becca, it's one of the best blushes out there, but they're gonna be discontinued soon. So I decided to show you Naked Rose, which is definitely a favorite of mine. Which highlighter has the perfect finish? This was super hard because everyone that I would pick, I would think that it's sold out, either sold out, discontinued, or whatnot. So the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfectors, I have a lot of them. Not all of them, but I'm missing about 5, and I have about 16 or 14 colors, limited editions, and whatnot. I still love the most Creamsicle or Dreamsicle, Champagne Pop, and Opal. Those are my favorite ones when it comes to color and when it comes to finish. These can be beaming and highlighter on fleek, but they also can be sheared out and look stunning on the skin. In my opinion, they do not enhance texture as much as highlighter can just not enhance it. This is Opal. I'm gonna go to the US at the end of September, and if I can find Opal anywhere, I will purchase a new one. I don't have a backup of Opal, and Opal is definitely one of my favorites with Champagne Pop. But since this is gonna be discontinued in September, I thought about another one, which is the Amorisi, which is also being discontinued. It was limited edition. Then I thought about my Burberry highlighters, and this one I hit pan on it, and I have it in 2 shades. I love these. I find this to be so beautiful, but I can't find it anywhere. Every time I'm gonna link it. I don't know if you can still find it, but if you can, these are wonderful. The way that they blend into the skin. This color in particular, Nude Gold, is so different from anything. The finish is flawless. The way they can be beaming and natural and do not enhance texture as much. Stunning. So the one that I know that you can still find that has a similar formula to those, that it's also beautiful, that it can be buildable, it's the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude Glow. And they have this formula on different palettes. On the face palettes, I think they have it, and it's a gelée type of formula. I find this to be beautiful. If you're looking for a shade that you love, just keep in mind that you can find it in the face palette. I wish she would bring a range of different colors, natural colors of highlighter in singles, because I think sometimes this one can be too dark for a few people, but the finish is stunning. The way it just makes your cheeks glow, but in a blurred sort of way. It's beautiful, and I think it does a similar job, maybe an equal job to the other ones that I mentioned. Which lipstick has the perfect formula? I always think about my favorite lipstick, but this is talking about the perfect formula. I just have to mention the Le Rouge Perfecto, which is my everyday type of lip product. This has been discontinued, but it has been replaced with basically the same formula, and now it's called Le Rose Perfecto, and it comes in different shades. I really want the nude one. I think I'm gonna get that when I go to the US. And then this one, I was thinking also about the color, but this one I finished the color that I love the most, which is Vibe. This is the Laura Mercier Velour Extreme Matte Lipstick. When you hear the word extreme matte, you would think that it's an uncomfortable matte, that it's gonna be liquid lipstick sort of, and that it's gonna peel your lips up. This is just the most beautiful matte formula of all time. I have it in other shades. I need to pull them out and use them. I love this shade as well. This is the shade Fresh, which is patina by Stila type of shade. It's just not an everyday shade for me because it tends to look too dark for my taste. But Vibe is beautiful, and I think they have another nude shade. So for a matte lipstick, this one is where it's at. But for a cream lipstick, and this is a cream that will look beautiful, it will smell beautiful, and the finish on the lips, just the finish on the lips is amazing. But the color of this one in particular, I adore. This is the Kevyn Aucoin Thelmadora, and this is the lipstick that I'm wearing on my lips today. I adore everything about this lipstick, the way it glides on, the way it doesn't enhance texture or dryness on your lips. Even if your lips are dry, it will make them look plump and better. And it's a cream formula, it's never shiny. It just has the perfect not drying finish. It's beautiful. This glides as if it was a filter, or as if you had a filter before applying it on top of your lips. So it glides on and it makes everything smooth and beautiful. And Thelmadora is definitely the perfect shade for me. Which palette has the perfect shimmers? I thought about the gold palette by Natasha Denona, and then I thought that I love the finish of all the different type of shimmers and metallic colors of every Natasha Denona shadow. So I had to show you the one that I have right now, which is the Franken palette, because I always destroy my Natasha Denona eyeshadow palettes, which are my favorite formula of all time. And I create a Franken palette with shimmers and mattes, and I just adore it. So this would be the answer to both questions. The best shimmers in a palette, and then also the best color story, is always my Franken palette. It's not one palette, it's my Franken palette. But I wanted to show you different options that were not my Natasha Denona shadows, so that you guys can see that they are not my only love, even though they are the palettes that I use the most in my collection. So the first one, for shimmers, I chose the New Nude by Huda Beauty. The mattes are great too on this palette, but the shimmers are outstanding. And I'm not talking about the glitters, I'm talking about these shimmers right here. I have pan in all of the shimmers here except for Fantasy, which is this one. And I know I'm close to hitting pan on this. This is just perfection. I just think the color story is beautiful. I like the mattes, like I said. It's just that. But the shimmers are the reason why I purchased it and why I would never regret it. They are just beautiful. You can just build them up. You can shear them out. You can use them with your finger, with a brush, with a wet brush. And they can be just perfect, melty, buttery, just beautiful. And they will not make your eyes look crepey or just weird, you know, enhance the wrinkles on your eyes or the softness of your eyelid. Then the perfect color story for me, if I had to choose one palette in my entire collection, I thought about the Biba, I thought about the gold, I thought about so many palettes. I even thought about the Sendo one, but I don't use cool tones or pops of color that much. The one that was gonna be the most honest answer was the Soft Glam by Anastasia. And when I thought about this, I thought that the first time that I created a Franken palette with Natasha Denona shadows, I opened the Soft Glam one and then tried to pull shades from all of my Natasha Denona shadows that were similar to the color scheme on the Soft Glam palette. So that tells you a lot. This is a perfect color story for me, and it's basically the reason why I decided to create my own Franken palette with a better formula. Because Anastasia is a formula that I love for my makeup artistry kit. It's easy to work with it when you're doing other people, but I haven't used it in a while on myself that much. Not this palette at least. I used it today, and I have to tell you something. I finished one shade, so I repressed one of the singles. So I'm gonna do a video about how I'm repurposing the pans, the empty pans on the palettes that I use the most on my kit last night, because I had empty pans and I had pans that I will never use on my clients, and I just carry 3 palettes on my kit at all times. So I wanted them to be the best versions of eyeshadows that I can use and that I know that I will finish. So I did change this palette a little bit. This color doesn't come in here. I tried to remove this one, but I couldn't. Then this one, Rose Pink, was the one that I finished, and I placed a color pop I repressed the ColourPop eyeshadow on this one, but this rose pink, if they would sell it as a single, I would purchase it. I adore that shade. It was my perfect bridal shade for the pink. I have a pink and a peachy look that I do on my brides. That is just a different type of look of what you usually see, the cool tone, whitish, black, gray tones. I just love pinks and peaches for my brides. I did switch up this color right here, mulberry, for another one. I changed the palette a little bit, so now the color scheme is even better. But if I remove these two eyeshadows and just have the pink and the berry tone that goes right here, this would be the perfect palette, and it's the reason why I created the Franken palette. So the Soft Glam palette is a palette that I know I will repurchase. I just don't wanna repurchase it, but I still have so much product in here and so many singles that are not being used. So I decided to repurpose it a little bit, but this is a palette that I would highly recommend. It's one of the few palettes in my collection that is not Natasha Denona, that if I lost, I would immediately repurchase. So that's it, you guys. I'm gonna leave the creators of this tag below, and I'm also gonna leave Andrea Matiliano's video doing this tag below. I bet they will have a playlist of it. I hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe. As an emoji today, just don't leave an emoji. Let me know which is the perfect color story of eyeshadow. If you haven't done this video, please do so. If you have a YouTube channel, let me know if you did this tag, because I just think it's just wonderful. I want to tag a few people. I don't know if they will watch this video, but I just want to see the 2 steps that I love. I will tag them below. Do this video, then Alejandra Lisset as well. I would also love to see Tash, but I know she has been absent, or I don't know if YouTube is not showing me her videos anymore. But just leave below any answer to any of these questions. I will also leave the questions below. And that's it, you guys. I love you, and I guess I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.